Everybody loves Invasion from Below. It's one of the more creative and special waves of the wonderful theme Hero Factory. And today we're going to discuss a rather stylish mech from this wave. It's Furno's Jet Machine. Does this set hold up? Well, let's discuss. And we're also going to chat about how you can use the pieces that come in this set to build your own LEGO creations. And then we'll finish things off with some absolutely incredible revamps of this set. Yo, these revamps are really good. Stay tuned for those. Here we go. When this set first came out, I was apprehensive about buying it. I wasn't so sure about those boosters up top, and the weapons felt a little bit too thin compared to the bulkier cockpit design. Plus, when you compare this to other mechs, like Evo's mech for example, I don't know, it's just not as cool. But I picked this up recently, and I like it a little bit more than I thought I would. There's certainly charm to this design. Looking at it in person, I feel like those thinner weapons on the hands, they're not so bad. While they could have been armored up just a little bit, they pose very easily and they have a nice angular and dynamic shape to them. And the sleek look of these blades and the armor on the torso, it's rather nice. It just feels and looks the way that a mech should, you know? We also have a container to store this little jumper beast on the back. And we have these, I suppose, flamethrowers? You can also tilt these backwards so that they become jet boosters. I guess they're a little bit of both. There's also some floodlights at the top here. I like that. There's also room for some accessories to be stored on the legs. We've got a blaster and a fire extinguisher. I mean, it's a unique accessory. Fire safety is important. I get it. Look, there's some nice features to this set. It's a decent looking design, and I really like the way that the armor wraps around the torso. It's good, it's sturdy, but it is safe to say, this is probably one of the weaker mechs from this wave. It doesn't really grab me in any different or overly exciting way, whereas so many of the other mechs, they did exactly that. This one just feels a little bit more generic, but it still looks cool, and sometimes that's all you need for a set to be good. And partnering this bad boy up with other mechs from this series, it makes me appreciate it even more. I mean, this dynamic duo right here, fire and ice fighting side by side, that's pretty awesome. But I do think that the pieces you get in this set, they're pretty good. Let's take a look at a few different ways that you could use them to build your own LEGO creations. I mentioned these cool weapon pieces before. Well, maybe you could just take one of them and use them on a revamp of Jawblade. Putting this piece on the end of a larger staff. Suddenly you've got yourself a bit of a harpoon. It's a very fitting weapon for a water-based character. Also, how sensational is this burst of red on this little energy shield and also on the harpoon itself? A nice contrasting color on the weapon design? Stuff like that looks sensational. You also get two of these flame pieces. Dotmox has a Furno revamp that uses some on the sword and also on the shield. Now, this piece was made to fit onto the sword element. We've kinda seen that before. But adding in some fiery hints onto a shield design, well, that looks lovely. Maybe you could add some flame pieces onto the weapons of your next mock. It's a great way to add in some color, but also tie things back to the character's elemental powers too. DVMox also uses this piece in a sensational way. They've merged this piece with all sorts of other types of fire pieces, and we have this incredible Phoenix. All these different fire pieces together, it really does look like quite realistic fire. Now, as we can see here, you're gonna need a lot of these fire pieces if you want to achieve this look. So if you want to build something similar, I suggest buying lots of these pieces. Then you'll be able to make something awesome. I mentioned the trans orange cylinder piece that was on the back of this mech. How could we use this one in a mock? Well, Chubbysaurus has a mock that's still a work in progress. But see how they've embedded this piece into the lower arm? That looks sick. The cylindrical shape of this piece, it works surprisingly well at recreating human limbs. Yeah, if you're making a huge Titan-sized character, you could do something similar. You get a few of these red CCBS armor shell pieces in this set. A builder by the name of Artie Quill, they use these on a Tahu Mata revamp. They make for some rather snazzy looking lower arms. And I don't know what it is, man, but the Toa Mata look incredible when you revamp them using CCBS parts. I mean, check out this sick torso design. And the upper legs, they flow so well into the lower legs. These pieces, man, so many great ways that you can use them. You also get some slightly smaller gunmetal shells. Oscar Serderwell uses these on a creation that's called Ronin. Look at this, an awesome cyberpunk ninja. Yeah, you see a lot of cyberpunk characters that have robotics and other technological modifications on their bodies. All of these gunmetal CCBS armor shells, it looks a bit like those robotic enhancements. If not, maybe it's just some type of armor. But either way, it looks brilliant. Seeing these pieces on the arm design, and also seeing them used down below on the legs, it looks sick. And finally, this set includes some of these knee armor pieces. Joxon uses a few of them on the leg design of this little walker. Now see how these pieces have been placed next to these gunmetal Rakshi spine pieces. These are the same parts that of course came on Makuta Pterodax. You can see them down here on his curved legs. Now check this out. When we place these pieces on both ends of this piece, suddenly this curved piece that's in the middle, it doesn't really look curved anymore. Instead, it just creates some sick looking armor. How great is that? Also, this piece perfectly caps off the base and the tip of the lower leg. So that's it. That's how you can use some of these pieces in your next Bionicle creations. Now, let's check out a few revamps of Furno's Jet Machine. The first reimagining of this mock is built by Raihi Kawai. And look at all the excellent detail that's been added here. All these beautiful light bluish grey greebles on the torso and these cool little yellow cylinders everywhere. It's magnificent. Just adding in stuff like that makes this feel so much more like it's a giant mechanical robot piloted by an individual hero. I think it just works for these type of mechs to make them really greeble heavy. And I really like what they've done with the weapons on the hand, using some red shields, some yellow hero cores, as well as wires, and a few other mechanical highlights too. Oh, it's all so cool. I feel like recreating this hand design and placing it on the original set, it would make it look 1,000 times better, giving Furno's mech a huge, bulkier, well-armored vibe. You know, I like that. I feel like that might be what this set was missing. Seeing it here, oh, it's such an incredible upgrade. And we have one more revamp, and this one removes the word jet from the name. It's just Furno's machine, so I guess it can't fly anymore. Now, instead of adding 2 flamethrowers onto the top of the mech, I like what they've done here. They've added them onto the hands, and I really like that. The flamethrowers on the shoulders of the mech, I guess that was cool, but the fire-focused aspects of this character, that's always so exciting. So making this kind of like the focal point of the mock, it just makes sense. I also like how the top of the mech is really heavily armored, and those cool spikes on the bottom of the legs, that's a good touch. Dude, this revamp rocks. So that's it for Furno's Jet Machine. What do you think about this set? And do you have it in your collection? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the mocks that I showcased in today's video, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. You can see more from those builders right there. Otherwise, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching, happy building, and bye for now.